Okay, so if I look tired, it's because it's 2 o'clock in the morning and I've been up a couple hours already. I was like, oh my gosh, we went to sleep. And I must have just totally been out because I'm telling you, it didn't even feel like I had to reorient when I came back into my body. It felt like I had to be rebirthed. It was the weirdest experience. And then she needed something when she woke me up. And so I was trying to function and it was like, oh my God, I couldn't even function. I felt like I was going to fall asleep while I was walking. And then whatever, got done with all her stuff and laid back down wide awake. Can't even. And so it's been a couple hours and I've been laying there and trying to go back to sleep. And it was just, they just won't shut up. They're just like, they're not going to let me go to sleep until I go talk about this. So I was like, okay, I'll go talk about it. Then maybe I can go to sleep. Today I'll just probably be one of those days I'll just have to sleep in the daytime or something. But it's been, totally a rainstorm. They were doing a total wind gust yesterday that was like oh my God. It was horrible. I swear, I see those trees start going. I know what it feels. I feel like I just know what it feels like to have a tree fall on you. I feel so sure of it. So I don't know. Okay, let me think, because there was so many things. There's like, I'll probably even have to record again at some other point in the daytime, because while I was laying there, I was just getting flooded with stuff, and it was like, okay, just let me go to sleep for a while. And it's like, you don't even need to sleep that much. Like, you think you do, but you really don't. It's like, yeah, but it feels like I do. It's like, really? Because you're just sitting here talking away, aren't you? I was like, God damn it. So anyways, one of the things is this a totally exciting thing is happening, and people aren't going to see it as exciting as it really is. And so, when I had said I had done that video where I was downloading something and these videos pop up, which I gotta say, this one just right off the fucking bat, because of all that happening. It happens every time. It happens every time. Like, the universe does not take that little moment in time lightly in regards to what they want me to see. They make sure it pops up immediately while I'm recording, so that I just am sitting there like, I have to record about this. It's impossible. I have to say something. I haven't said anything about this yet. But yesterday I did so many videos. It was like, sometimes it just bombarded me with, it's like the way to look at things, the thing to think about or something. They just, they just tell you that stuff. And so, but one of the videos that popped up that's absolutely disgusting. Once you see it, you can't get it out of your head. It makes me want to barf. It's like one of those things I wish I'd never seen. And it's not because I can't accept the Dalai Lama as a perv. I thought he was a perv a while ago. I don't remember what it was that I had heard. I think it was in 2020 that I had heard something sickening about him. And I knew, that is why people go into positions of power, is to have power, is because they want to dominate in some way. So, even a Dalai Lama or whatever, they have got power that they are wanting to have over, So, anyways, this is, oh man, he's so freaking, the look on his face and stuff. Oh, it's so gross. And it's a little kid. And he is so like, oh my God, if there wasn't people there, that kid would be just like being manhandled right there. You just look in this guy's eye. This is not a religious, this guy's not having good thoughts about this kid. And so he he goes up and kisses him or something, but then he can't stop. He can't even get his eyes off the fucking kid. And so then he puts his tongue out and he tells the kid to suck on his tongue. And he gets up there in this kid's mouth, and you can tell the kid's so uncomfortable. And then he gets all excited when the kid does it and wants to do it. Oh, it is so, so sickening, so manipulative, such gross. Oh, it's so gross. And, that's why you can't just follow somebody just because of a position they hold or title or any of that stuff. And that's a part of what's falling apart right now that is so exciting. Because so in the one video I had done that rocked, I seemed like I had said something else about, I think I've said it a couple of times about, I mean, there's a sickness going on, no doubt about it, in the progressive community. And it's sad because, coming from a progressive community, I know what these people are all about. I mean, these are literally the vegans, the tree huggers, the people who go to the shelter and put their time into saving animals. And, I mean, like my one daughter, she's like, uses vegan makeup, vegan fucking shoes, like everything is like to protect the animals. Like they are so, and that is why it is so about that all the letter community is all in, it's become enmeshed with it because it was such an accepting community about wanting to be all inclusive, like everybody, and that's why, yes, oh, a drag queen wants to read at the library. Yes, that's so sweet. Let's just all come together. They're very much like that. And, the conservatives always by appearance seem to be the more, go-getters, the Republicans. They stand by the Lord Jesus and the strict rules that they have on society and stuff. It always seemed like, that it was a harder group to fit in. They were very, like the blonde-haired, curly-haired, all the makeup and the the cowboy, with his Bud Light or Michelob Light or whatever, they were just very, like white bread America or something. And so then it was like the Democrats kind of picked up all of the, like the artists and, the rejects and, the creative people, like all the people who, felt like they weren't a part of that group, and so they played on that, this certain group of people and this certain group of people, and they played on, they use ego and stuff like that, but they play on things to create division and stuff, and because these people literally, I mean, when they come in, it's a fucking script. And it's been going since 2020. When they come in and attack me, it's a fucking script. Oh, I'm a fucking Christian. I watch Fox. I'm a Republican. I'm this, I'm that. They've got it all laid out. They know exactly who the fucking target is. They know who the problem is, as they've been told. And they spin out. They can't handle. It's like yesterday I got an argument with two of my daughters, not like a severe argument, like as soon as I say, something that is outside the thing, and then she said, what she thought or whatever, and I'm like, no, I mean, your generation will find out. It hasn't gotten to get to hear about what the kids think. You're just talking about what y'all think. You got to get to the other side of this. Doesn't matter what I'm going to say or anything. There's nothing to argue about here. You just got to get to the part where you're on the chopping block, your generation. So you get to see what y'all did wrong. And she was just like, she had to go. We can't talk about this. And, part of it is probably out of respect and just not blow up and start screaming. But, there is that aspect where they really don't have anything. The script is it's a thin script. There's not a lot of substance, so they don't have a lot to say. Everything runs thin, and so but one of the things was, because this whole thing got started over this one daughter. This was a couple of things, because the circle, no, it's the Love is Blind. Well, we were going to talk about, because everybody's watching it, and so we were on a 3-way FaceTime. And so when we were talking, one of my daughters, she said something about, because they think that I'm ridiculous when I say these girls are using like their boobs and stuff like that to get attention, like in shows and stuff. All of a sudden, they're, and you see it all on TikTok and stuff. The way they position the camera, they want to get the fucking cleavage, all that stuff. And I said, it seems desperate and attention-seeking behavior to me. It seems like, it's not good. And so I'm a prude. And so on that one, to me, is like, if you think that, because she thinks like that those are girls just owning their sexuality, they're doing what makes them feel good. It's not about if somebody else is looking. It's like, but they fucking know that somebody else is, what? They know that somebody's looking. That's why they're doing it. It's so that somebody will say, oh, you look so good. And they don't care who says it. And we already have all these women, grown-ass women, using their little girls to exploit in that way, so that grown-ass men will come in and pay their way. Like, I mean, we've got people who have, they don't think straight. They've sprung a spring. It's not, something's not working. And so, but I was like, I didn't say this, but I did do a TikTok later. And I said, just if you think that, somebody says that you're, just replace that person with somebody else. Like if you have a strong position, especially on these situations that are so divided, when there's two sides and you find yourself leaning on one side, then go in and think about, like, okay, so, I don't agree with anything old Uncle Joe says. I mean, he is such a jerk, and I don't ever think anything he says. Or if you have a friend and it's something about a mom thing, and you have a friend and she, you don't agree with anything she does. Like, oh my gosh, she's anti this, she's blah, 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 and you don't agree with her, you think she's nutty. And so think about then, if she was the one who was pushing about the drug thing, if she was the one telling you how great it was, like, replace the people and then see about how you stand with something. Are you being a part of a group thought? Are you being a group mentality? You're just doing it because the rest of your friends think it's the thing to do? Or are you doing it because you really feel that strong about it? So if somebody you don't like is doing it and telling you how great it is, do you all of a sudden go like, oh, no, I'm not doing that. No, I don't like that. No, that, if you can really put yourself into that perspective, it will give you a lot more insight into how you're leaning or whatever. And then I said, think about, like, what if it was your mom? What if there was cameras on your mom and your mom's up there all of a sudden and her boob fell out? Would you sit there and go, oh my God, my mom is such an attention seeker? Probably a lot of age. Oh, don't make me, don't, that's disgusting. And so they've got all this agent, and that's one of the things that they attack me on all the time too. And you see the attacks all the time on the boomer. It's like, they think that they can go around and bully everybody, but nobody better say anything that's going to hurt their feelings. And so, they can be so vicious about stuff. So I try to get him to be like more rational, like, think about if that was somebody else that was doing that. With my daughters, I couldn't get, that far. The one daughter had to go, I think as soon as it started being like, oh, it's going to be an argument, she had to go put the baby down. And then the other daughter, she was telling me, because how progress works, no, we're not doing things like y'all used to do it. No, we're doing them this other way. And this is the better way. It's only the better way until you see the parts that didn't work. You haven't gotten to that part. So don't get all caught up in your ego and your arrogance thinking you've got all the answers, because you don't. Because if you did, you wouldn't have a whole group over here telling you that's not going to work. But you don't want to listen to that group. So you got to see how it's going to play out for yourself. But while you're sitting here judging these other generations saying, there's only so long before you're the generation on the chopping block and you're the one being blamed for everything. And so then it'll be your turn. And it is so crazy too. And I think I already said this yesterday about like the girl with the, well, I was free range. Like, I'm just dumped outside. Nobody cared about me. And then I'm like, I'm free range. That was the way that we grew up, is, all the kids were free range. And it just gave me like a totally different perspective of, how some of us enjoyed that. And then the next group felt forced. And then it started kind of dividing out, fracturing. And some started being not pushed to be creative or, go out. Like when the kids sit there and, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to do? You're supposed to figure something out. Use your imagination. Create something. It's like you push them into, use your imagination. And, it was something that we just had to do like automatically. There wasn't like anybody making us. Like, I don't remember ever being made. Like the only time that about going outside and being made was when we were made to do work when we were outside. Like, go outside and pick weeds. And it's like, pick weeds? Like, what? And then it's like everybody else is playing. I'm supposed to pick weeds? Like, all we wanted to do was go out and play with the other kids and, have fun and get away from the parents. And we'd go out like on our bikes. We'd go all over the place, just like back when they show the movies back in the 50s or 60s or whatever, when the kids would all be on their bikes and just go way out in the middle, all together as a little group. We got to go and experience that, and thought that was just what childhood was. Well, apparently it's not. And so, we got that experience. These other people, they don't get that experience. And then they started, fracturing out. Even, I know when I was trying to push my kids to be outside, it was, use your imagination. You got to think of stuff. It's like, I don't, it was like, how do you tell somebody to go out? Like, why don't you just automatically, your kid brain just go, oh my gosh, outside, like there's things to do, like I'm free, but it wasn't like that. It was, but there wasn't so many kids. It wasn't like, the whole neighborhood is going out, especially in one part where I lived with my kids. There could have been in some neighborhoods, there was a lot more action, but, we were living out some already. And so, but the kids, really struggled with that. But I think so many kids then started moving indoors and started becoming a part of, video games and just being entertained instead of creating their entertainment. They started being entertained and, being subdued. And this is something that is really disgusting, is another video that popped up, but this one was on YouTube, popped up at the top, is Matthew McConaughey is doing a video to talk to kids about the positive things about virtual living. 222. The positive things about virtual living. It's like, you sell out motherfucker. Or you were really this stupid. I mean, it's one or the other. You're either a total sellout, you don't give a shit about anybody or anything other than you making money, which you already have so much, but you need to make more. And you know, I am sure that some of these people probably have, you know, more in their contract. You know, maybe you have to give up one of your kids or something if you don't do what you're told. Like, who knows what some of these people have gotten themselves into. But, you know, I thought he was a little bit more of a deep thinker. You know, I mean, how fucking shallow. And then, you know, let's push the youth into just accepting, you know, just get your consciousness stuck in a metaverse, just stay stuck there in that whole meta thing. Yeah, Zuck, he's crashing. All this stuff is happening automatically. This is the thing, is where people get so panicky and stuff. It's all happening naturally. There's not things that we have to do. The only thing we have to do is, you know, independently process and be present and go through the experience, because everything is going to, you know, is the energy is creating it. The energy, it's like the energy went so far. It's like the negative energy, like what I'm seeing is that it went so far, it like hit into the wall and then is coming back on itself. Kind of like where I was talking about that tidal wave, the energy, or the tsunami wave that they kept showing me, how it was the energy was coming back on itself, and how, you know, everybody has talked about like that this is whatever you've been putting out is going to come back on you, but it's going to come in a wave, so it's going to be way bigger than is your energy. So whatever you've been putting your energy into, it's going to flip back on you. And that is why, you know, people have been being negative and being assholes and stuff. It's just going to get harder and deeper for them. It's so important to be healing and processing through this as this occurs. And but so the one thing that was really cool, so what had gotten started on this last thing of these attacks, one of them was a boomer one, and that's where I see like this the combination, how to go. And I don't remember what that video I said was. Something about being, I don't even remember. But the other one was where I had seen that drag queen who was talking to all those kids, telling them how fun, you know, that they should dress up, they should do drag and all this stuff. And it was just like, guys, really putting, you know, that's ridiculous. It's like they're putting pressure on kids to be a certain way. And so I said in the video, I was like, you know, to all you drag queens that are putting pressure on kids, did someone do that to you? Or were you allowed to go out into the world and figure out who you were? Even to that point of, you know, I didn't say this part, but I mean, when you think about it, it's even, you know, y'all won't let these kids figure out who they are, but you were allowed to figure out who you were. Even, you know, old drag queens, I mean, they're in pretty, you know, pretty distinct group, you know. And so you would think that they would have respect for that position for children to be able to figure out who they are, because these ones got to figure out who they were, and it was pretty, you know, pretty big jump from what was a more acceptable thing during that time. And so to be pushing on these other kids, I'm just very against this, all this stuff being done to kids. I'm just against, you know, I just see the abuse of kids in all these different groups. And then, you know, for them to make excuses and stuff because preachers and stuff do it, that's ridiculous. And what was that? I just saw another one that was a stupid one too. I can't even remember. But anyways, when I did that video, I got so, oh my God, I cannot believe the attacks that the people come in and say, and people go crazy. They get so triggered, and and so all these other conversations get going, and you start getting attacked and everything. As soon as you say one thing, as soon as you question anything, and so they're totally attacking me, and so I did some more videos to say stuff about, what they were saying and what I thought about it or whatever. And so I ended up doing a bunch of videos, and but I saw so much of how these people, interacting like in these conversations and stuff. So it was, giving me some sort of insight into what was going on, kind of like how they were being more of a group mind, like automatically calling me a Christian, automatically saying that like it was just like they say the same thing every time. All these people, and then when they run out of stuff to say, they will retreat, and then they'll come back the next day and just start it again with the same fucking thing. Yeah, even that lady, I ended up blocking her yesterday. I was like, oh my, because I was like, at first, just don't engage, ignore her. But it's like, okay, lady, you got issues or something's not right. Oh yeah, and I want to say something too about this, with the silver. So there's copper deficiency creates your hair to turn silver, and so it makes your skin loses elasticity. It was going through the whole thing, and all of the things were things that people think are aging when it's really copper deficiency. And so I went and got my, I've been trying to use that a couple times a week, but I'm going to try and drink way more out of it and see if it does. It's so weird how this side of my hair is turning so white and this side is not as much. I don't know if it shows very much on the camera, but like to me, it's like this side is really completely doing something different than this side. I don't know, it's really weird. But anyways, so I was speaking out, like I was taking a stand. I was drawing a line of how I felt about these things, and not even just with the comments, but every time I would go do a video, it was like a certain video would pop up, like they wanted me to see it. So then I would comment. I would go in and do a video talking about something else about the whole thing. I mean, there was a bunch of videos I did, and I know that some of my people who follow me, who are friends with my kids or whatever, that they, are progressive. And I know that, I mean, even my granddaughter the other day, oh, Grandma, all you do is videos all day long. It's like, this isn't like I'm going, like, and that's another thing too. These people who come in and tell me to shut my mouth, keep my opinion to my fucking bigoted self or whatever the hell, is that the what was I gonna say? Because when they come in and tell me that I need to keep my opinions to myself, man, it totally just flew right out of my head. It'll come back to me. But they anyways, that they want to be, and there would be videos that would pop up like of a woman, I can't remember what one of the things was. It was some woman product, and it was a trans person. It was a video of that. And it was like, they keep using trans people to sell women's products. They're just completely shoving women out. It was becoming so clear with the videos I was seeing and what the comments were and stuff. I was like, this isn't an attack on gender. This is totally an attack on the feminine. I mean, we're seeing it in all these different places. You put it all together. The attack on your body image. And now we have men who decide they're women, who are kicking women's asses in fucking sports, which is some bullshit. And then some literally kicked some woman's ass for even saying that, that's not okay. I think it was on a sports thing, and it was at a college yesterday. They held her prisoner and shit as they beat her up, and then they tried to make her pay to leave. That's kidnapping, motherfucker. I'm like, what in the hell? That's what I'm saying. People are committing crimes that they don't even realize. Like, there is people who are going to find out, like, their husband was going down and buying little, there's going to be some shit that's going to come out in some families, man, I'm telling you. But, so these, I'm totally getting attacked about, me saying, well, I don't want to be called I'm a woman. And now it is to the point, like, when they're trying to take away women, and now you have all these videos where people are figuring out, like, oh, so all these men who suddenly became women, because it's not the women going and becoming and trying to take over men's anything. It is the men going in now telling women, step aside, sister. The new women are in town. Like one of them, that Dylan, whatever, his new video out. Well, it's almost swimsuit season, and people have men. Some people who wear swimsuits have bulges, and so if you see a woman with a bulge, that's okay. Like a whole thing about it. I thought that person was all the way a woman. Like, maybe it was somebody who looks like Dylan. I don't know. It is, the stuff is getting just so ridiculous. But, it's got to go so ridiculous to wake people up, because this is all about the awakening. So the absurdity, the ridiculousness, and how far can you be pushed before you draw a line? And so it was just funny, because yesterday, where I was like having these like arguments with these people, and then I kept seeing these videos of like this woman getting her ass kicked, and the all the different things that they keep taking away from women, and now you're not even allowed to call yourself a woman and stuff. And then the images that I get of where they would take this in schools. Like, there was a video of a mom with one of these on a parking lot, and they were being interviewed because they because they were going to have a period of time for all the kids to pretend to be non-binary. And this mom thought, that's no big deal. There's so many people who come into this stuff and think stuff is no big deal. It's like, because you don't take a stand on anything, you don't even want to pay attention. So many of these people don't even know what's going on in their own communities. And so I was, I don't know, doing my video things. And then, so when I finished and I was going through, all of a sudden I was seeing all these videos where it was like all these people were saying the same things as I was saying. And I was like, oh my God, this is like a whole energy movement. And it was so fucking cool, because it is this breaking free from the group. And it just as the progressives, like I had to break free. I had to take the being beat down by my own people, told I was racist and all this stuff as soon as I said anything, that wasn't on the narrative. And so it's the same thing going on in the, the letter community. And because it's fracturing and stuff. So, it's all falling apart. And but that's what has to happen. And that's why, I had said before, whatever you're holding on to is going to hurt when it gets pulled away. And that's why I was saying the other day, it's going to be, a lot of people are going to take it really personal of what's going on and how it's going to, how it's going to fall apart, and they're going to feel attacked. And so, when I went on and I started seeing these videos, all of a sudden it was all of these trans people that were speaking up. And I was like, see how stuff has to get ridiculous to push people. And they were all like, I didn't want to have to talk about this. None of them wanted to be attacked by this group either. And so, And all of these people, you couldn't tell at all. I mean, it was surprising, each of them, when they started talking, that they were trans. I was just like, whoa. And they were so comfortable in their own skin, and they were so, they all the ones that were speaking out all seemed happy, healthy, very happy with their choices and felt comfortable. Didn't at all. They found themselves in that. That is a part of, we can't judge any soul. Every soul has its own journey, and each life experience has its own journey, its own path, its own experience. And so, you can't deny anybody's experience. Like, whether it's the experience to come in and switch it, to come in and see you shouldn't have switched it, come in and see whatever it is. If it's, you'll see it all when you go past to the other side and you get your whole life review. You get to go over what you did and why you did it and stuff like that. And then you judge yourself. Nobody needs to be judging anybody else or saying anybody's experience is invalid or whatever. The problem is this push on the kids. And so these people now are taking a stand. So they are taking a stand. So they're separating from their group in solidarity and taking a stand, making themselves vulnerable, putting themselves out there. See, this is a beautiful thing that's happening as this all falls apart. It pushes you into defining yourself in your own values, how you see things. What do you think about it? You're no longer part of the group. And how many people become contained by the group? The group begins to take on its own, it's like a blob. It takes on its own gang mentality. It takes on its own life. And so it then becomes like, at this point, this group has become vicious bullies. And they want all the rights, but don't want to give anything to anybody else. They are, they're mean. They come in and they'll ridicule you for everything, put you down, and be submissive and devalue you. But they want, no matter how absurd what they want it to be respected. And it's like, none of us are coming at you with anything weird. Or just because now we still want to be called women and you're going to get pissed about that. And so, the people who were, the legit trans people, they were saying, how much damage this is doing to, how hard they had fought to be respected. And now how much damage that this has done as they've tried to go like mainstream, in every school. Well, catch them before they even decide they're trans. We're going to make sure, we're going to make sure. And they said that's why we've got all these kids detransitioning, because they aren't even trans kids and they're being pushed into doing something that's not even them. And that comes from these progressive parents looking to be liked and respected by the group, because, people need to have somebody there to be a part of something. And so in this sick society, it just, they used distortion and stuff to get people to be putting their energy into the wrong things. And so you have, but these people don't realize it yet. And that is why when they do realize it, they're going to feel so disgusting. I just saw this girl, and she said she went on Instagram yesterday, and she was so mad at herself. She said that now she has to wait, because she had signed back into it. And she said now she has to wait 7 days or something to delete it, because she wants to delete it. Because there's a big movement where everybody is saying delete all of the Zuck stuff. So the WhatsApp, the Messenger, Facebook, Instagram, all of his stuff. And, flatten him out. And, he's already so exposed. It's just going to keep going. It's not going to stop. I mean, there's so much stuff coming out. Like, there, even the news now is saying, like, there's all of these, um, what are those called? Papers that, they're not allowed, they're government private documents. I can't think of what they're called, classified documents. And they're all over the internet. Nobody knows how they got there. What's his name? The guy who wears the mask, the group, it's a whole group. They were a part of the Wall Street stuff. And also in that movie, Vendetta is where they come from. I can't think of what they, it starts with an A. And it's a word that is like, means everybody. I can't think. It's like, it doesn't matter. Anonymous. I think that's what they're called, Anonymous. This group. Anyways, they're on Twitter releasing names and telling crimes and stuff like that. So, like, all this stuff is, just pouring in. There's no going back. There's no, like, hiding from the truth. The truth is going to, continue to keep coming out and flooding people. And so there's no getting away from it. But this girl, so she said she went on Instagram and she said that she was so disgusted. She said after when she was looking and she was seeing what the people were talking about, looking at, and all that stuff, she said that she can't even believe that she used to be like that. She said she felt so dirty after getting off of there. See, that's what happens. And that's what all these people are going to still go through, to feel so dirty, because they're going to see like they were being tricked. And they don't know they were being tricked. And so many of these people are very gentle, kind people who really want to look out for everything. And don't forget, a lot of them have been on antidepressants and anti-anxiety medicine for a long ass time. And, the pharmaceutical company probably at the same time is going to short them all of a sudden. There won't be any of that. They're already doing it on other ones. They'll be all the ones that cross the blood-brain barrier, because that really fucks with people system. I'm sure they'll do it to any of the ones, like probably insulin, any of these ones, like they'll, whatever they can do to fuck with people. But, so you have all of these, trans people now, who are, they're claiming their like sovereignty as a person. They're just saying who they are, and they are all saying that they completely understand that they are not biologically the other person. And I mean, even one of the ones was is a guy now, but saying as being born a biological woman, he can recognize the attack of what's going on women, and sitting here, it's like dismantling us. But it is, it's so dismissive. It is, there's a lot of words, demoralizing. It's minimizing us. But it's a part of their whole movement. Take away the culture, take away the identity, leave this thing so it doesn't have any idea. And I try and tell that to my daughter, where they're like, I mean, 'cause they've got friends who are, letting the kid figure it out for themselves and aren't giving it an identity and dressing it both ways and stuff like that. It's like, that's not good. You have to give a kid an identity. And, but it's stuff with their indoctrination. It's stuff with their programming. And it's stuff that they're going to have to see for themselves. But all the things are going to hurt as people see them. But it's a beautiful thing to watch as people begin to step into their own and, stake a claim and say who they are. Just like that person, I had no idea that was a trans person. And I thought it was a guy, and a good looking guy too. And so for them to come out and say, like they're going to speak up for women, and a lot of guys are coming out too and saying, because like there's places now who have passed laws so anybody can go in any bathroom. So any guy, any pervy guy, I mean, the Dalai Lama can go in, and say, so you can just say, well, I think I'm a lady, and go in there, and you don't have to even tell anybody. You just go in there. I mean, pretty soon it's going to be women won't even be able to go in women's bathrooms. And what was another thing that just popped into my head that was like another thing that they were doing? I don't remember if it was oh yeah, it was so in, I think it's Massachusetts and California, and I think they said more states, but they passed a bill or something about now you can, it's considered an abortion up until 28 days after birth. You're allowed to, you could have a baby and not want it, and then you're allowed to leave it laying there for 30 days unattended. So they have all this weird stuff in there. And there was another thing. This was funny too, because when I was a kid, there was a thing called I loved those things, School of Rock or whatever. There was these little like skits, commercial things that would be throughout the day that would teach us things when we were watching TV. Like, we didn't have as many of these dumbass commercials. I mean, we had commercials selling us stuff, but there was a lot more rules and stuff back then, I swear to God. But this School of Rock or whatever it was called, little clip thing that this person shared was, so this one was about bills. So how they would used to make a bill, and it would have to go through a whole process, but that changed because then they got something called the AFEC or something like that. It was an association of, so basically the corporations, the lobbyists, got control of the politicians. And so they just were able to, through this, they come up with these organizations and these names and stuff. And then, so it's how the corporations can get all the rules the way they want them, and the laws the way and they can get it through quick. And so, it's all for the corporation. It's all about, what's good for them. It's not what's good for the people. We're expendable. It's what's good for the corporation, and it's all about the buck. And, they don't care about the planet. They don't care about animals. They don't care about the air. They don't care about trees. They don't care about anything but money. And it's like, what are you going to do with it? Like, so strange. And, and the money thing too. So there's still these people who, there's certain, the future city and the 15-minute city is the same. And they've locked another one in with that too. And the Russian government has come out now and said Trump is in danger here, and that they want to put him under protection there. All this stuff, I'm telling you, it just gets crazier and crazier. And so the what was that one too with the dang, what was I about to say? Well, anyways, I'll go back to so in the trans community now, so you have the ones who are speaking up and saying, hey, we're not pushing this. We are happy in our lives. We don't have any problems. We love that women supported us through our transition. We've felt nothing but support and respect, and we are not in competition with them and all of this stuff. And so, that is separating them from the group speak, which is going to be like, they don't even realize the people like my daughter and stuff, that's the people who will matter more, is the people who like the trans people saying, about that this other group is over the top. Me saying it, no, I'm just, I've got a problem. I'm not progressive. I'm old fashioned. I'm a prude, or whatever they come up with. And so they need somebody who they look at with respect. as equal, and that then they can they'll respect their opinion, and so that will ripple out. So all of these people speaking out like that, they'll cross different people's pages, which will wake up a lot of people who are progressive. Just to have that little stone thrown in to the information, where they were so sure about this one thing, then all of a sudden for it to be, well, wait a minute, if the all the people we're supposed to be supporting are now pulling away from the group and saying, you are exploiting us, you are minimizing us, you are creating more hate against us. So, it was going to get people to have to question things, to have to look at things different, to have to see a broader perspective. And it's going to separate and really put the light on the people who are the extremists, who are pushing the agendas, which it all goes back to the corporation. Even now the Bud Light person is coming out and saying, well, we're just trying to get with the younger audience because nobody drinks Bud Light anymore. Well, do something to improve your beer. Like, what is this constant sell tactics? Like, go with the flow of what people drink. They want a richer, beer. They don't want to just drink 4%, piss water or whatever, this stuff is now that they have real brewers that are making really good beer. They don't want just this crappy beer anymore. So anyway, you got to do something besides just marketing. And so anyways, but it's all these different corporations are doing it. It's because it's an agenda, and because they're all in bed together. They're in bed together with the pharmaceutical. They're all in bed together. So they scratch one another's back. And so, but this is going to, the more people that step away and say, don't include me, I'm not with you, then it leaves them standing there by themselves, like that red rover. And so the more that people come over and just stand in their own truth, is it keeps leaving the problem people out exposed and in the open. And so then they don't have the shield anymore. And so it's going to make them have to question themselves of, how hard are you going to push, or, what are you pushing for? And then plus with the trans community stepping back and saying, stop doing this to kids. Nobody was doing this to me. And, I got to decide for myself. You guys are making kids think about things that they didn't ever even need to think about. You're pushing stuff on kids that they don't even understand what you're talking about. And so that is exposing that whole scenario. And so, all these different people are going to have to question it. But there's going to be, a hold where some people are going to hold on really tight, and they're going to try and, cancel them. And, no, I know we're right. And, but it's going to just get thinner and weaker, and they're going to see they're in quicksand. There's no getting out of it. You have to see the truth. The truth is not going to not let you see it. It'll be a choice what you do once you do see it. You are going to hide from it. And, the planet, the cosmos, the energy is going to, if you can't keep up, then you just will, you won't level up in the game. You just won't keep going. And who knows, how high. I mean, to me already, there's so many things that are uncomfortable on the energy part. I feel like I'm high vibration. Like, I feel like I've done a lot of healing. So I can't even imagine what it is like for people who haven't done healing and stuff. Like, it's got to feel so, oh my gosh, so uncomfortable right now. And so, But it is really, cool because those groups need to fall apart. We don't need groups to identify us. We don't need all these labels and groups and subcategories and stuff like that, because once you're established as you are a human and you are either a boy or a girl, then, or if you aren't happy with that, then that's your journey, is, figuring out that you're not happy with that and figuring out what you are from there, who you are from there, how do you fit into this society or whatever. But that is, all of us are doing that at that point. We're all trying to figure out who we are and what we like and who we like and all of the things, as a separate person from your family, from your friends, from, these groups that have become, like gangs, they're like cults. And so, it is painful to break free from. And, it's going to be more, it's going to continue to be painful. It's going to be hard on people who have really associated their identity with certain groups. But the beautiful thing is once they are pushed, even though it'll be uncomfortable because, they're holding on to something, once they're pushed into that, having to figure it out for themselves, they will feel more sure of themselves as their own self. They won't need these other people to reassure them as who they are. They'll feel it inside themselves because they will have come into not just balance, but it's like coming into your own. And so those are the things where it's going to seem really hard and painful for people, to have groups, have people that they love and care about being, treated bad or thrown under the bus or whatever. It's the dismantling of everything. Like when it's the end of this stuff, it's the end of it. And right now, I guess there's a lot of fireworks going off in Israel. There's like going back and forth on the fight. It's starting to in Taiwan and China are starting to kick it off. And now Russia is saying, that they have to protect Trump. So, things are, I would hopefully, for fuck's sake, hopefully this week things are going to start heating up more. It's kind of weird because I haven't been getting any of my bills. Like I haven't gotten my, maybe I will today, but I haven't seen my Xfinity bill. I haven't seen, I saw the water bill truck out there, but I would have thought I would have got a water bill by now, but I don't know. Maybe I'm just being hopeful. I know it is all going to, they're all going. They're not going to be around. So however it goes down, but, they are dragging this out to try and keep us from getting into the quantum one. It's like they're trying to do something, it seems like, to keep it, so we can't do that, like the pushing the Fed now and stuff like that. But it's not going to be, because we're going to go into the Nisargasara one and, the quantum one. So I don't think that we're going to go anything on that other one at all, because I have heard all the whole time that it's already set up. It's already in motion. That's why they're dragging their feet so hard on all this stuff, because they're trying to stop it from going. And even I saw a news report that was saying that Australia, England, America, and Canada, and one other one or something, that we would all be going on this system together. It's because we're the ones that they're trying to hold back off of the Nisara right now. And so, all these other countries are already going on it. They're already going into the gold standard. They're already changing things, Just like Africa is like, hey, we're doing good over here. You guys get rid of dollars and all that stuff. So, we are more at the end of the thing. And then what is so crazy too is that these people who keep being so paranoid, it's like, are you not paying attention what's going on in all the other countries? Like, if you think Nasara doesn't exist, then why is Gasara happening everywhere else? Like, you got to see what the hell is going on around you. And then you see these people, like, oh, the freedom cities are the same as a 15-minute. Like, you're wasting time and energy because you're scared. You're scared of what's going on in the world. And when you should be working on yourself, not getting, like, it has so much to do with trust. Just like when those trees start blowing, man. And I start feeling like I know what it feels like when a tree falls on you. I'd be like, okay, it's not gonna fall, and if it does, that's what's supposed to happen, you know. I think the only people who fear death are the people who don't think they have a soul. If you understand that this is just a second in time, this is a sand pebble of a beach, that this is nothing in the whole scheme of things, that, it gives you another perspective, that you're not so scared of everything. But so many people are so scared of everything. I mean, they're scared of Jesus coming back and condemning them and stuff. I mean, people cry about it and shit. So, and that's going to be a big group too. That's going to be a big one when it starts falling apart. The religion, that we got the progressive ones falling apart. We got the letter one falling apart. Everybody, pulling free and being like, well, I'm not with them. Well, I'm not with them. And I don't want anything to do with grooming kids. I don't care. I'm not trying to make kids. And another thing too is the trans people are saying that it is not even the trans people who are making such a big deal about the gender thing. They said that's the people who call themselves non-binary or something, or pushing this, and that frustrates them. So see, that's what I'm saying. It's all going to be like, no, we're not doing, no. It's all going to be like, but it's going to, the people who are involved, it's going to be, some pain and trauma for some, all depending on how they identify themselves to themselves, how dependent they are for the group, for their identity. So that will be in all of the different things, same with religion, like I had said a long time ago. You'll have to figure out, is your relationship really with your creator? Is your relationship with the God that they created for you, that they told you to worship? I can't believe how many videos I saw yesterday about all the bad stuff about Easter. Which even got me thinking, is like, how many people that don't want anything to do with religion, but they go out and they partake in all these religious holidays. And the religious holidays are all so manipulated. They all come from these other rituals and stuff. And I heard several about the Easter one at different times. And one of them was something with Ishtar, and, you had to, rituals, killing kids at that time of year, so I guess you'd have a good spring and stuff. So you'd have good things that would grow. Another one was, they would all have orgies. It was about the fertility. So they would have all these orgies and stuff. And, all of this stuff is, you're celebrating the anniversary for all of this, just, I don't know, toxic energy. It's just this blindless consumerism. It was like, oh, we don't need to know anything about it. Just give us a holiday, and we'll go spend some money and give us some candy or whatever with it. And it's like, people just want to consume, and but the consuming is a distraction. And that's why I think they want you to consume. I think that a part of, from the things that I'm seeing and stuff, I do think part of why they are spraying is to block the energy or the rays or something coming in. And it's something to do to block the awakening. Because, I mean, just like I said too, is, I think as soon as this, political stuff gets, more equaled out, then there will be a push, I think, quick into kind of more moving people into safer areas, the freedom cities or something. And I had seen where somebody, it was one of those group things, I think Charlie was in it too, as somebody was sharing a video, and one of the people in the group said that JFK, I've seen a couple of videos where they're saying, yeah, Junior is 100% alive. He was the one up there on Mount Rushmore where they were getting the pictures and stuff of one guy who was in the helicopter when he got dropped off was talking about it. And he was talking all about the Q stuff, like all that kind of stuff in this one video. But this video was saying that JFK Jr. Is going to be the VP, that Trump is going to be a temporary president, is going to be short, but he's going to be back in soon. And then it's going to be just to get things to be calm, or it's a transitional thing. We're going to move out of all of this government shit 100%. And so it's going to be like a transitional thing. And then the Junior will be a leader for a while longer. I don't know for how long. It's going to be up to people. It's the people. The people have to want independence. The people have to, but we're going to actually be able to get it. But people still, there's going to be, there's going to be some dependence. People are just, they need to be spoon-fed. They need they need to build up to being independent. And so and then this person was saying that Trump's going to take on some kind of role as like the global king or something. I don't think we're not going to have any king or anything. We're not going to have any kind of thing like that. He could be put up where, everybody remember, like, Gandhi or Mandela, or, he's remembered for the work he did, because he martyred himself to help people awaken and help move us towards this freedom. I mean, he's been sitting there, throwing these people out for us to see for years now. So anyways, there's going to be a change. All of the stuff, the governments, all of the, there's, I think it was the anonymous one was the one who was talking about some of the judicial too, of their crimes and stuff, and all this evidence, and it's out, all this stuff is coming out everywhere. Like, it is going to be, I think, really crazy all of a sudden, where it's just going to be like going really quick. People getting arrested and going down and stuff. Like, I can't believe how many times I've seen that fucking Dalai Lama video right now. Like, just what I mean. It's like, once something goes, it's just go, 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 go. And the energy, too, with that whole trans thing blowing up so fast. And where it was like, I mean, they were pushing so hard, and women just kept sitting back, and every time anybody would say anything, you would just get bullied and, told you were a transphobe and bigot and racist and all this stuff. And so a lot of people just were like, fuck, I'm not saying anything. And then all of a sudden they just pushed so hard. It was like at the same time, I mean, there was a video of, I think it's a boxing match, and the person who won, the guy, kicks this girl's ass and is up there, like, it's like, dude, that is fucking not cool. And then I just saw a video of one of a swimmer who had been like, oh my gosh, this girl was like a award-winning swimmer, gets finally to her time, and then here comes a trans guy who comes in, and she actually tied with him, and they gave it to him because she said for photo ops, they need, they're pushing an agenda. They're always pushing an agenda. And they don't care if you have a trophy or not. They don't care about, how many hours you spent working on your thing, your craft, your skill, whatever. They don't give a shit, you know. And even if they did give a shit, it would be in China, and then they would just be giving a shit just to use you. And as soon as you were broken, they'd throw you away. People don't matter to these people. These people are just here to use us, and they abuse us for their entertainment. And, it's just it's completely sick society, and how many people have just bought in to the whole thing with the it just is, it's heartbreaking when you see, these parents who are putting their kids through these, like the drag show ones are really disturbing to see these parents. It's like the parents are all having fun, and then they keep pushing this stuff on kids, and then going even with the to the pride parades. Pride parades are not for fucking kids either. They're provocative. They're sexy. They're not kid, like, oh, let's go to the kid game. And why does it matter? Kids should not have to think anything about gay or straight until they become gay or straight, till they decide, till they find attraction to somebody and decide who they're attracted to. That's when they'll know. They don't need anybody coming along behind them trying to do stuff, putting stuff in school books and in classes now, and talking to them all the time about it. And, if you're in school and you're trans, well, the school is all for you. They're there for you. So then, they get these kids who need the support for other things, who play alone. They're creating so much, so many problems, where we could be doing so much better for our society, so much better for kids. And any kids who are confused, we need to have open conversations, open doors, because, we need to be there, because of course kids are going to be trying to figure it out. And, talk to them and let them figure it out, but don't sit there and tell them what they are, who they are, or what they need to be in order to make somebody else happy. Let them talk about how they feel about something, but they sure the hell don't need to be talking about sex until they're much older. And then they just push it on the TV, on all this stuff, and there's no reason to do this. So anyways, that is all the teachers, all of the people who participate. It's like you're grooming them for the controllers, the ones who are in control of this place. You're doing it for them. And where they want to take the classroom, is, just a bunch of, you're not a boy and you're not a girl. You're just a person. And so a person, even in their patents that they put onto these things, everything is about to take our rights away and make us like, you're not human. You have no rights. You have no say. You have no this. You have no that. You're not allowed space. You're not allowed food. You're not allowed to feed yourself. Yeah, I saw a video where this guy was just talking about how, when he was a kid, he was judgmental of his mom because she always seemed depressed, and she'd always just sit there, and she'd have dreams, but she could never follow through. She'd just sit there. And he said that now he is an adult, he's finding himself doing that. And he said that now he sees, like, he doesn't judge his mom anymore. Now he sees, like, how hard it is to just keep going when everything is just like, you get nowhere. It's like you just keep climbing up the fucking the sand, and it just keeps going out from under you. And but I said, one of the things is, when you're feeling so drained like that going outside with the bare feet thing, I can't even believe how that took my headache away. That was crazy. So now I keep going out and doing it, and I can feel the electrical current like going up through my feet. And I saw where you can plug your cell phone in to the ground and it will charge. So, like, there's the actual, energy that comes up there that is good for us. And so, what was I going to say? After I say this, then I'm going to go, I think. The, the, the grant, oh yeah, because I told him that, part of the problem is the way they keep everybody jam-packed on top of each other, like we're sardines in a can. Everybody has energy they're putting out. Everybody who has intent, think about how intense everything is right now, and everybody's putting out their energy of what they're going through, which everybody's got intense shit. And so all that energy that is all around you, that it's invisible, you can't see it, just like you can't see your grandpa who's hanging out with you. You can't see the things. The only things you can see is in the game that you're birthed into. So you can't see all the other stuff because it's not a part of the game. And so the energy is being put out by everybody, though, and so it's going to affect you. It's going to drain you. And so going outside, getting away from anywhere where it's a lot of people. So I can totally tell the difference when I go into town from out here. Like, you can just feel the energy. You can tell the difference. It's so chaotic. It feels like being in when I go into a grocery store parking lot, and it feels like you're in some sort of like an ant hive or whatever they were called. I can't remember what they're called. But I used to step in them when I was a kid in the South. You'd be running and there'd be those big ant things, and you'd step into them and you get all those fire ants on your legs. And but that's what it's like in the cities. That energy is just like all those ants being crazy. When you go out, you're out away from all of the ants, all of the craziness, then the energy automatically just feels more calmer, because your energy is not going to be so interfering with your energy. And so then on top of it, going out and standing barefoot in the grass also is so good for your energy. So any of the people, if you're having struggles, and it feels like, you're just sitting there and you just can't get up, you're just drained energetically, and you live in a city and you live around a lot of people, I would say to totally go out and just separate yourself away from the crowd for a while, and just, feel your own energy, to kind of, well, it's like a whole bunch of words, but they won't really make sense, but kind of like, just grounding you, just to get you more into like stable, calmer waters or whatever. So, just do things that will help you, because there is a lot of energy that is going to be draining to people right now, and people don't realize how draining. And it is a lot to try and figure out, like, is it your energy? Is it, your neighbor's energy? Is it, what is it? So the more that you can be away, be by yourself and feel your own, and, it'll just feel calmer, and it will charge you back up. So anyways, I don't know if I will. I'll see. I went on there this morning. I've been trying to go back to bed. I was there for a couple hours trying to go back to sleep. And I was looking on, I wasn't seeing any, because I keep going on looking like for like the energy changes. That's like for the energy. So I just see kind of like it gets repetitive. Like, nobody's talking about train derailments or anything like that anymore. There are a lot of people talking about the food and the air in the water. That's still, huge concern to people. I think more and more people realizing it. More and more people, to me, seem to be really catching on. Like, just the absurdity of how they got with the pushing women out really, I think, woke up a lot of women to start realizing, like, this is an attack on, and it's the attack on the feminine energy, because it is the light to the dark. And so it's like the end of the purge or something before it takes over. But you can see it's like they push so hard that we push, and our push is what pushes us over. And so that is why everything happens naturally. It is how, nature works. It's like it pushes you, and you push back. And so, that's where everything is going to shift. And we will go into this time of the divine feminine, where everything is so much calmer and more loving and nurturing. And, not that men will be not masculine. It will be, I think men will be more masculine. They'll be more comfortable in who they are. And they'll be more of, more kind of protective of the feminine energy, rather than to be in battle with it. But that's why, there has to be so much of this chaos to get everybody into those new mindsets, those new positions. That's why all of this chaos has to keep coming up in the dating and the sex and relationships. All of it, all of the stuff has to purge up, and everything has to be relooked at. But then once we move into it, men will be in a healthier way of looking at things, and women will be in a healthier way of looking at things, and will go into a more harmonious time with each other, with the planet, with everything, until something puts it out of whack again, which, has to happen, because that's how things have to go. So anyways, I might go lay back down for a while or something. I'm going to go ahead and start downloading this. Maybe it'll go really quick, because it's like 3:25 now. So anyways, have a good day. Everything seems like it's going really good. It's slow and tedious, of course. Like, I can't wait. Like, I know that my stuff is going to be really good. And so, I can't wait to get to, the other side, till my stuff starts flipping back on me. So I'm excited for it. So, this always feels like it's just dragging to me, how slow and tedious it takes. But, look at a lot of beautiful stuff is happening, where people are becoming independent, people who were just quietly living their lives. And now, they're taking a stand in how they feel about something, and pulling free from a very, very toxic, controlling group that, they only love you if you are, saying what they want you to say. As soon as you question things or say something, just like all of the different groups, they all have something in common, don't they? So anyways, we'll see as these groups all implode on themselves. And just any of the groups that you're involved with, just remember, you aren't the group. You're an independent person, and you just have to, figure out your attachments to the group, and, work it out, process as you go into your sovereignty, pulling free, and identifying who you are as your own being, and stand strong and love yourself. Don't feel shame about who you are. The more that we all stand strong and be like, hey, this is who I am. Not everybody's going to like me, and that's okay. Just like I said yesterday, we don't have to agree. That doesn't mean I'm going to commit a hate crime because I want to be called a woman. Like, that is like, you guys are going to have to start seeing things like more clearly. And the more that we, set our boundaries, the more that that clarifies for people who are confused. And that is where we get a healthy society. When we feel strong enough, we feel like we deserve to have a boundary. We deserve to have a say. We deserve to be called women if we want to be called women, so that's the movement towards freedom and sovereignty as a human being at this time. So anyways, this is the ride, so let's just keep enjoying it and keep doing your work, and stay strong. This is hard. This is tough times, man. Tough times. So I'll talk to you later. Bye.